So you're thinking of moving to Savannah, Georgia? Then this video is for you. Today we're going to discuss the cost of living in Savannah and what that can mean for you if you move here. Stick around to the very end. We're going to discuss some really awesome tax advantages of living here. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know what's going on in the Savannah market. I'm Jen Parmalee with Cozy Realty Group. Every day we get calls from people just like you, so whether you're thinking of moving here in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out to my team, Cozy Realty Group. We would love to help make your move to Savannah an easy one. So first, let's talk about housing costs, because of course that's going to be the main one for everybody. So in Savannah, our median home price is about $341,000. So that is slightly above the national average. A lot of this is going to be relative depending on where you're coming from. If you want to be in the historic district though and have that beautiful Victorian charm, the median home price there is about $1.1 million. So the historic charm does come at a bit of a premium, but still it's absolutely totally worth it. In Pooler, so we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of the two most popular suburbs. So Pooler being one of them, the median home price there is $352,000. And Richmond Hill is the other one, and the median home price there is about $420,000. So they're, all kind of in mid threes to mid 400,000s. And of course you can find things higher and lower depending on what your price point is. Our property taxes here though, compared to other states, do tend to be quite a bit lower. And for seniors, there are additional exemptions too. There's a double homestead exemption that you can claim if you qualify for it. Make sure you talk to your CPA though, because there are income limits, I believe. Another thing you want to think of when you're taking housing costs into consideration is flood insurance, depending on where you're going to be here. So we are a coastal city and some areas are going to require that. Even if they don't require it, it might not be a bad idea to get, just because you never know what's going to happen from season to season. So just to have yourselves covered, that's probably not a bad idea. One pro tip though is to get an elevation certificate for your home. So if you can show how high your home is, then your insurance premiums are going to be lower if it's higher. So some of the homes are going to be on stilts, or some of them are built up a little bit, and you can get a discount in insurance for that. All right, let's talk about transportation. So if you're in Savannah downtown, especially historic district, it's very walkable and bikeable. There's also some public transportation, the main one being the Chatham Area Transit, and that will cover most of the city. If you're in the suburbs, it's a little bit more limited though. If you're going to be outside of Savannah, so if you're going to be in Richmond Hill or Pooler or even some of those farther suburbs out, then you are going to be more car dependent. I would recommend getting a car if you are planning on not just being in downtown, but really good news there. So we do have great prices. Savannah is about 10 cents lower than the national average for gas, so you'll save a little bit there. And honestly, traffic and parking isn't too bad, especially compared to some of the bigger cities. Parking is not outrageous at all. Pro tip for parking and for just getting around in general, there is a DOT shuttle that is free that runs through downtown. So whether you're just visiting as a tourist or whether you're a local, that's a really great option. All right, let's talk a little bit about utilities and groceries. So our utilities are a little bit higher, slightly above the national average, about 3% higher, but our groceries are slightly below the national average. So that might kind of even itself out. Another great pro tip is to shop the farmers markets. They are really reasonably priced here, and you get fresh local produce, so it's a win-win. And there's always fun other little booths set up there too. You get to meet the locals and the people here. Another benefit, so this obviously depends on where you're coming from, but there are climate benefits since we have very mild winters. So if you're coming from one of those colder states with snow, no snow tires. You don't have to have 2 sets of tires. Also, you can wear your same wardrobe year round, so you don't need a totally separate winter and summer wardrobe. So I know when I moved here, those were a few things that were unexpected savings for me. Family expenses. Childcare, so it's one of the big expenses for families with small children. So it averages about $7,600 a year for children under 3. Now, I will say, and I am a parent of 2 children under 3, that can vary quite a bit depending on where you put them in childcare. So it's a good idea to shop around and just see what fits your situation best. If you have family members that can help you out or friends, that's even better. Healthcare. Healthcare is really very, very affordable here. It's 17% below the national average, and that's high quality care. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like to retire here too, is our healthcare costs. So schools, what about there's some public schools and charter options, so there's kind of a mix. There's some private schools too that are a little bit pricey, but I will say it might be beneficial if you are wanting more options for school. Effingham County and Bryan County are right next to Savannah, which is in Chatham County. They're both very, very close. And so both of those have some really great school options as well. So I would research all of them if you're thinking about moving here and that's important to you. Kid-friendly activities. So there's tons of fun stuff to do here that doesn't cost very much. There's lots of parks and playgrounds. Forsyth Park is obviously one of them, which that's where I am right now. And, you can always bring the frisbee or, bring games and picnics, and there's always fun stuff to do out here. There's a lot of free activities and festivals too. There's Savannah's Children's Museum is a really good place to visit, and the Telfair museums are very reasonable priced too. Right now it's $10 for kids and $30 for adults, but there are discounts for seniors and students too. Some of our top festivals that are free are the St. Patrick's Day Parade. That is one of the biggest in the country, and we even have people come from Ireland and overseas to see that parade every year. We also have the SCAD Film Festival for you movie buffs, and the Savannah Music Festival is amazing, and all of those are free. If you want something that's a little bit more low-key and you can kind of do on your own, especially if you like history, Savannah has 22 historic squares, so those are great to bring a picnic and do some people watching and learn a little bit more about the history. We also have the Bonaventure Cemetery, which is beautiful and historic if you like that kind of thing, and there's free entry to that as well. Free walking tours too, just make sure you tip your guide. And then if you like the beach, Tybee Island is only 20 minutes away, and those beaches you just have to pay for parking, but that's pretty much it. So if that's something that you like to do, that's a very, very popular place to go. If you are wanting to try out some of Savannah's best restaurants, but you are on a budget, I would highly recommend Savannah's Restaurant Week, which is actually coming up soon. So it is the last week in January and it goes into early February. What that is a bunch of restaurants will sign up to be part of this, and they put together a 3-course meal. So it's already kind of fixed. You don't get to choose exactly what they are. They already have them planned out. And this year, I think the maximum charge is $60. But some of them are going to be $35, some of them are going to be $50. So it's a really great way to get a 3-course meal at some really great restaurants for a very inexpensive price. And a lot of them do have optional add-ons too. So if you're wanting to go a little bit bigger than that and try a few more things, then you do have that option too. All right, now let's talk about one of the biggest cost savings for Savannah residents. This is a very popular area to retire. Why is that? It is because of the retiree tax benefits. So Social Security benefits in Georgia, all of your Social Security benefits are exempt from state taxes. Then there's a retirement income exclusion. This is the big one. So if you are 62 to 64, you can exclude up to $35,000 of your retirement income. If you are 65 or older, you can exclude up to $65,000 of your retirement income. And if you're married, you can count that twice. So each person can claim that separately. So this is a very, very popular area to retire, especially because of our mild weather and then all of the benefits. If you haven't watched my other video on Del Webb, I would recommend you do that if you're interested in retiring here. It's a new 55 plus community that is coming to Savannah next year. And if you contact me, it'll be open for viewing early, like February or March. So be sure to watch that Del Webb video if you haven't already. And I think that's pretty much it for the cost of living here. So if you have any specific questions about anything or any comments, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about what's going on in the Savannah market. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really got a lot of benefit out of this video, and I will see you around town.